Good morning, everybody. My name is Gary Parker. I'm the Managing Director of C&T Associates, who is bringing you this presentation today as part of the Royal Borough of Greenwich's Generative Business Programme as a free presentation, and you're all welcome here today. We may be joined by others because we've had quite a few registrations, but we'll see. This is being recorded and will be on YouTube in about a week's time on the C&T Associates YouTube channel. I'll put some information about our company in the chat. What I'm here today to do is to introduce it. I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Miss Michelle Smith, who's going to host this for you. Please, there should be time for questions later, but you can put comments or questions in the chat, and we can deal with those as they arise. So thank you all for joining us, and over to you, Michelle.
Thanks so much, Gary, and good morning, everybody. It's so great to see you all here today. We have got some really good speakers, and I know that you're going to go away from today's session with lots of information that you're going to find really, really helpful in your business. So before I hand over to our speakers, I just thought I'd give you a little bit of information about me. So let me share my screen, and I'm not going to keep you too long with this, but I am going to invite you to try something with me. So hopefully you'll join in. Okay, so I wanted to talk, as well as just introducing myself, I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about having a calmer, kinder approach to 2026. I think as particularly women in business, we do tend to have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of people depending on us, lots of things going on in our worlds. And it can be really, really easy to get kind of bogged down in the day-to-day and the hustle of running a business. But a little bit about me. I'm a coach, trainer and hypnotherapist, and I work predominantly with women over 40. And my journey to being an entrepreneur has not been an easy one. And I'm quite sure that if I asked each and every one of you individually, you'd probably identify with that. I've gone from a corporate position to where I am today, and the journey has been interesting. I would always say that running a business is an evolution. And I just want you to hear that today, that if you're thinking, oh my goodness me, I started here and now I'm completely in a different place, that is probably part of your journey. Now, I've learned a lot of lessons in that journey so far, and I continue to learn a lot of lessons, and that will be the case. Every single day brings something new. And I have learned too many things to mention here, but my biggest lesson has been that you don't build success by pushing harder. And I really want you to take that away today. You build success through thinking clearly and realizing that there are always going to be challenges is a great sort of ethos to adopt. And that took me this morning as I was preparing this presentation. I thought of a quote that my coach shared with me, and that's that you can't fix a problem by looking at the problem. So I'll just let that land for a moment. You can't fix a problem by looking at a problem. And that is to say that if you can take yourself out of a situation and bring calm to it, then you will find more solutions than you will if you sit with the problem and get frustrated by it. So just a little bit of an exercise that I wanted to invite you to try today. Close your eyes if it's comfortable for you to do so. But I want you to think back to a challenge that you've had in your business. And I want you to think really closely about what the problem was, what the challenge was, what you felt in the moment as you were desperately trying to solve the problem. See what you saw and hear what you heard in that moment, and really feel in to what it was like at the point that you're desperately trying to fix that issue. Just really think about those feelings and feel it in your body, because you will feel it somewhere in your body. Okay. Now, open your eyes if you've had them closed. And if you feel it's safe to do so, close them again. And now I want you to think about a situation in your business where you were in flow, you were calm, and everything was happening really easily for you. And again, really lock into how that felt. See what you saw, hear what you heard in that moment. And if you can't find a situation in your memory from your business, find something from your day-to-day life and just really think about what that feeling of flow and calm and ease felt like, and where in your body you can feel that. Okay. Now, we don't have time to go through this and find out what everybody thought, but I want you to really reflect on how it felt when you visualized that hustle feeling, and how it felt in the moment where you had a real calm approach, and recognize the difference between the two. Now, the reason I've brought that to you today is because I'm noticing a lot within my network at the moment that there seems to have been a shift in focus away from hustle and more towards clarity and self-kindness. And I think if you can build that self-kindness into your day-to-day, you will find running your business so much smoother. And so a few tips to take away really are: in the moments where you feel yourself getting sucked into the hustle, stop, take a breath. Deep breathing just for a few moments can really have a positive impact on your state. And if necessary, step away, go for a walk, do something completely different, and move away from whatever it is that you've been ultra focused on. And remind yourself that you're running a business, you're doing something amazing, and it's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. So that's a little bit about me and what I do and how I work. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube, or my website, and I'll pop my details into the chat. And if you would like a calm end to your week every Friday, then you can sign up for my the Friday wind down email, where you can either read or listen to me reading to you and just find that moment of calm as you go towards the weekend. So that's a little bit about me. I'm not going to take up any more time. If you've got any questions, then please feel free to pop those in the chat. I'd be happy to answer those. But for now, I would really like to pass on to our first speaker, who is Sybil, an IT consultant and all-round whiz in everything to do with tech and AI. And Sybil, please do tell us what you'd like to share today.
Thank you so much, Michelle. So I will share my screen. Hopefully you can all see that. So my presentation today is about avoiding the digital overwhelm. So we all live in the internet age, and because of that, we're surrounded by information and digital tools and technology. And because there's so much of it, and we're surrounded by it, it can become overwhelming. There's so many tools out there. And we don't know the best way to use them. Maybe we're using too many tools. And so my short presentation today is all about some tips and tricks on how to reduce that feeling of overwhelm and information overload. And it's all about balance. So, first of all, a very brief introduction to myself. So, I am a digital services consultant at C&T. And what that means is I support small businesses and also non-profit organizations with utilizing digital tools more effectively in their organizations. And it started off as offering just a web design service, which I still do. But this year, I'm expanding my range of services to include other support such as email marketing, CRM, systems, automation, analytics, and more. And since starting this, I've worked with businesses from a variety of different industry sectors, including well-being, also creative, tech companies, legal sector, and more. So we'll go straight into the presentation. So first of all, what is digital overwhelm? Here we have a definition. Is the mental exhaustion caused by the constant influx of digital information and communication, leading to stress and burnout. And we can see in the picture here, the lady is very stressed, anxious, and frustrated, which is not how we would want to be on a daily basis. So on the next slide, we want to be more like this lady. She's looking very relaxed and very happy and calm and content. So on the other hand, we want to be in a state of online well-being, or also known as digital wellness, which refers to maintaining a healthy, balanced relationship with technology that supports your mental, physical, and emotional health. So I'm going to give you a few tips on specific tools and how you can use them more effectively. And these are the ones I find that are the most common or the most useful. So hopefully these will be helpful to you. So the first one is about email. If you're like me, at some point, all our inboxes get overflowing with emails, and it just becomes unmanageable. So here are a few things you can do and to help with that. There's really no need to respond immediately. If something really is that urgent, then they would probably give you a phone call anyway. And so it's best to check your emails at specific times during the day rather than constantly, like every 5 minutes or so. You can flag important messages so they're easily visible in your inbox and you can come back to them at a later time and you don't forget. There's a service called unroll.me, which I find very useful. It's a free service. You can use it to unsubscribe from newsletters. Reducing the frequency of newsletters helps as well. So some new newsletters give you the option to receive, say, monthly updates instead of weekly or daily ones. Set up your out of office reply. So if you're not going to be in your office for a while, you can set up an auto reply so that people emailing you will know when to expect a reply from you. And also remember to monitor your spam folder. Sometimes legitimate emails tend to land in there, and if you don't check your spam, there might be some important messages that you're missing. And also it tends to pile up, so it's good to keep on top of that. Okay. Next one is about passwords. We have hundreds of accounts and passwords. It's almost impossible to keep track of them. You may still be writing them down on paper or on emails, on notes, which is not recommended. So what we do suggest is using a password manager. So this is usually an app or an add-on that installs on your browser. There's many free versions of this, and they safely store your passwords. So you don't have to remember them, you don't have to write them down. They're all stored in a password manager. It can also be used to generate a strong password. So it will generate one which can be a combination of random letters, numbers, symbols. And yeah, as we said, it's not recommended to write passwords down, and never share your passwords with other people. Okay. Simplifying your social media. So probably all of us have a social media presence, and it can get overwhelming trying to manage all of these different platforms. Now, although I don't recommend it trying to be on too many social platforms, even if it's just on one or two, it can become difficult being able to post on time and keeping to a schedule. So what you can do, use a content planner to plan your content out. Say at the start of every week, plan out what you're going to post during the week ahead. And then you can use a scheduling tool. And one example is buffer.com, but there are other options out there as well. So what this allows you to do is you put your content into the scheduling tool. You set the day and time for each one, and then the post will automatically be published at that day and time. So it's basically like a set and forget process. You set up everything, and then during the week, your posts get automatically published. You don't have to worry about being there to post at that particular time. Using AI to generate ideas. So this is not a presentation on AI, but you're probably familiar with tools such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and others, which you can use to create ideas for your content. Oh, and also remember to utilize a platform that your target audience is on. Because it's not much point in posting on a platform that your target audience isn't using. So do your research and find out which are the platforms which are most suitable for your business. Tidying up your to-do list. So I tend to have lots of to-do lists in different places. But one I found was a tool called Trello, which is extremely helpful. And honestly, I don't think I'd be able to run my business without it. It's been essential for me to be able to keep track of all the tasks and projects that I manage. So this is another free tool, and you can use it in many different ways. It's based on boards, lists, and cards. And how I like to use it is I create one board per project or per client. Then within that board, I will create lists like to-do list, doing, done. etc. And then within those lists, I create cards, each card corresponding to a distinct task. And then I can move the cards across different lists as I do and as I complete those tasks. And one handy feature this has is you can set a due date for each task. So one I like to do is every evening I will sort through all of my tasks, and once I completed, I would move to the done list. And the ones that haven't yet been completed, I would set a due date, say tomorrow at 7 a.m. And so every morning I get an email with a list of all the tasks that I need to complete within that day. So, and a key here is not to set yourself too many tasks. Otherwise, that kind of defeats the purpose of this, and you're just going to get more feelings of overwhelm again. So, the point here is keep your task list short and manageable and doable. So being realistic with the number of tasks you aim to complete within that day. Making the most of our mobiles. All of us now use a smartphone. A few tips here: delete apps that you no longer need. If you're a member of any WhatsApp groups, you can mute them and any other noisy communities, and just check the groups at specific times during the day. Customize your notifications so you're only receiving notifications about important things. Leave your phone in another room when you're around other people. Switch your phone to grayscale. That's an interesting one I haven't yet tried. But apparently when you do this, it makes your phone screen look less appealing and you're less likely to start tapping the different icons. And you can use do not disturb if you want to receive notifications only from certain people. And for a more drastic approach, you can use airplane mode. So you won't receive any phone calls, messages, or notifications at all. So that's good when you really need to focus on a specific task and get it done. And one thing I haven't mentioned on here, but there's also a new trend right now where people are actually going back to using dumb phones, which is like the Nokia phones you used to get, which had no internet access, or at least very limited internet. It just had some basic games. But the point here is that they can only do the very minimum required, like they can just receive calls and text messages and not much else. So that's an option as well. If you feel like you're getting too distracted by your smartphone, then get yourself a dumb phone instead, and you'll probably be a lot more productive then. Okay. And very quickly, a few other tips to improve your online well-being. Set time limits on how much time you're spending on your screens. Don't go online immediately after waking up, and leave or stop using your phone and your screens 1 hour before going to bed. Restrict the type of content you're interacting with. This refers to social media, because the algorithm detects what sort of content you're liking or commenting on, and the more you do that, it's going to show you more of that type of content. So be careful what you engage with. You can customize the social media feeds. This means sometimes you get a little message that asks you, is this relevant? Do you want to see more or less of this content? So make use of that, give it some feedback, and then you'll train the algorithm to understand what type of content you like and dislike. Avoid toxic communities online. Always maintain good posture when using your phone or your computer. Take regular breaks. The next one is important. Participate in offline activities to boost mental health and physical health. So as I said at the beginning, it's all about balance. So make sure you're getting some rest from the online world by spending time doing things offline, like walking, doing hobbies, sports, reading, meditation, spending time with friends and family, and meeting them in person. And finally, if you are still feeling overwhelmed and unable to cope with things, then please seek support. So this could be someone you trust who's close to you, like a friend or a family member, or it could be speaking to your doctor or a health professional. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you found the information helpful. So if you need to get in contact with me, my information is there on the screen. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Sybil. And I think there are so many important messages there, because I think it's so easy to underestimate the impact of tech on our mental and physical health, actually. And so those reminders about how we can balance the use of what are ultimately incredible tools with what we need as human beings is really important. I did add into the chat actually that I tried the unroll.me on your recommendation earlier, and it is really good. I tried it with my personal email, so it's well worth giving that a go. If you're in my personal inbox was huge, lots of messages in there, so it really helped me to kind of rationalize that, so thank you. If anybody's got any questions specifically for Sybil, please pop them in the chat and then we can come back to those after. But thanks again, Sybil. And now our next speaker is Lisa from Mountain HR. Lisa, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm just getting my screen ready for you. Give me a sec. Okay, lovely. So you should hopefully be able to see that. Michelle, I can only see you, so can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Okay. Lovely. Okay, thanks so much. Hi everyone. So yeah, I'm Lisa Thompson. I am the owner of Mountain HR, which is an HR consultancy, which I'm based in Sidcup, so probably not far away from many of you. A quick introduction to me, and then I'll go into what I'm talking about today. So I cover all areas of HR for micro businesses who are taking on their first freelancer or their first employee, right up to medium-sized businesses with kind of 250 employees. I work with all different kinds of organizations. So I'm currently working with an accountancy, a museum, a theatre, and even some Instagram influencers, which is really interesting. So yeah, that's me. What I'd really like to talk to you today, and I think this does build into the theme of overwhelm and calm, because that we've kind of had with Michelle and what Sybil's been talking about, is what we might have seen as business owners is in the news at the moment. There is a lot about something called the Employment Rights Bill. So lots of things about sick pay, parental pay, day one rights, and it's kind of being whipped up depending on what you're reading. And so what I wanted to do is talk to everybody about it and just kind of put a little bit into kind of plain English, as it were, about what we can do as small business owners to remove the hype, remove the panic, and just be really calm and clear about what this means for us, and what we can proactively do so that it's smooth sailing during 2026. So whatever size of business you have, and you might be sitting there thinking, well, hang on, I don't employ anybody, this isn't for me. But even if you are taking on freelancers or associates, it's really good to be clear and have clarity about those working relationships. So there's lots in the Employment Rights Bill, and I'm not going to go through everything, but the things that are mostly important for small business is the fact that people are going to start getting more rights, some rights from the day one of employment, some rights from six months, whereas in the past it's kind of been around the 2-year mark that most rights have kicked in. We need to have contracts in place for everybody, and this includes people like freelancers and associates. Be really clear about what that working relationship is, and then having some policies in place to preempt things before they happen, but also to safeguard themselves. So these are the kind of things that I want to talk to you about today. So how can you get clear from day one? So the first thing that you can do is have an agreement or a contract in place with whoever you're taking on, whoever you're working with, so that everybody knows where they stand, how much they're going to get paid, notice periods, and all those kind of things. With small businesses, there tend to be a lot of kind of verbal agreements, emails going back and forth, and things can get tricky because things can get misunderstood. So having an agreement, and it doesn't have to be war and peace, it doesn't have to be legalized language, an agreement which says this is what you're going to do, this is how much you're going to get paid, timeframes, and what we expect. And I can help out with freelance agreements, associate agreements, but also employment contracts as well. As soon as you take on one employee, there's some policies that you need to have in place. So you need things like your disciplinary policy, your grievance policy, sickness, maybe how you're going to deal with parental leave, such as maternity leave. And so it's good to have those in place, and also policies around harassment, particularly sexual harassment at the moment. And again, even if you only take on freelancers, some of the clients that I work with, they have freelance handbooks, which kind of lay out ways of working, and have those agreements written down so that everybody can be held accountable and knows what's expected, and it just avoids any issues down the line. Also, the main important thing is knowing that you're paying your people the correct amounts and in line with minimum wage. But then also rules around sickness pay and parental leave pay is changing as well. So knowing what those rates are, what you need to be paying people, is really clear. And I think they are the three things that most small businesses really need to be doing. And quite a lot recently, I've been and there's no judgment here, but I've been working with small businesses who they start their small business and they're really passionate about what they want to do, whether it's making jewelry or HR or accountancy or anything. You're passionate and you want to go out there and give your gifts to the world. The last thing, and I know this, I'm an HR person, I'm realistic. The last thing people want to think about is HR, governance, policies and contracts. But if you get those in place, a couple of days work, then you have that peace of mind. You have that foundation that if anything goes wrong in the future, you have a document that you can come back to and refer back to. So what can you do now? So have a think about, do you have contracts and agreements in place for everybody that you work with? If there's some kind of exchange going on there, even if they're volunteering for you, do you have something, even if it's just a one-pager, in place that kind of sets everything out? If you do have employees, do you have all the essentials in place? So do you have the policies that you need? Do you have the correct employee files? Do you have their right to work information? So just having all those things. And again, you do it, you put it away, you save it somewhere safe, and it's there and you're done and you're protected. And the last one, and this isn't about scaremongering or anything like that, but am I safeguarding myself in case anything comes up in the future? If things go wrong, relationships can go sour. Have I got everything in place that protects me and my business? Because we put our hearts and souls, blood, sweat and tears into our businesses. Are we safeguarding that for the future if a relationship goes sour? Now I have a one-pager that I can share with people about checking whether you've got the necessary things in place. So if anybody would like to access that, then my contact details are in the chat. But hopefully this has made you kind of think, okay, do I need to check this? Am I sure about these things? And again, it could be an afternoon's work for a long time of peace of mind. Okay, so that was short and sweet, but because nobody wants to get bombarded with employment law. But hopefully I've made you think, hopefully I've made you check. And if the answers are everything's in place, fantastic. If not, then I'm always happy to help and chat and see if and share any resources that I've got. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Lisa. That is really, really interesting that you've covered freelancers in there as well. Because as you say, even if we're not employing people, we're likely we've got relationships with other freelancers or other service providers. So that's a moment to stop and think, isn't it, and take stock. So thank you for that. And also,
no problem. Sorry, one thing I did mean to say is blurring the lines between freelancers and employees as well. With IR35, it's just about checking that this person is a freelancer on paper and in reality, so that they're not considered an employee down the line, which again, none of this is about scaring people. It's just about getting it right from day one, not getting a few months down the line thinking, oops.
I like that. It's just about that kind of, that makes it very clear that it's just about, it's almost like it's another admin task. It's important, but don't get bogged down. So yeah, thank you for
Absolutely.
that. And the policy issue as well, anybody that's wanting to put forward bids or tenders, having those policies in place are so important. So yeah, really helpful. Thank you. Much appreciated. So over to our final speaker for today. We have Isaac from MATARA Coaching with us, and I'm really looking forward to what you're going to share with us, Isaac. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you so much, Lisa and Sybil, for your wonderful presentation. I would like to speak to you about confidence, and confidence is a topic that I love speaking about. Lucky for you, you have me only for 10 minutes. So first of all, I would like to tell you about Sarah. Sarah is a digital agency owner. Sarah felt she had to be liked to be successful. Her self-worth was tied with her client's immediate happiness. So she didn't have any self-worth, she didn't value herself. She felt like she needs to be available to her client 24/7. It's impacted her work-life balance, and it also impacted her mood. I want to speak also about Elena. Elena is a cybersecurity consultant, and Elena felt like failing is not an option. She believed she has to be perfect in order to be respected. And that led her almost to be paralyzing fear of making mistake in public. And also I want to talk about Maya. And Maya is a fashion brand founder. And Maya believes that if I don't do it, it will fail. If I don't do it, nobody will do it. This was a survival mechanism from her early career that now she's a business owner. It turned to a cage of micromanagement. So all those stories those women are not the real names, of course, but those stories I dealt in my practice. And I would like to share with you how we approached it and how we analyzed it and how all tied to confidence. But firstly, I would like to share with you about myself. So my name is Isaac Goldfarb, and I help women in business, specializing women in tech, to overcome career barriers, to speak up in that boardroom and to get to that job promotion they want, and for some reason they're not applying to. I'm bringing my 25 plus years of experience in IT as engineer, manager, director. I've seen it firsthand, how women are struggling in this very male-dominant industry. I'm also a proud parent of twins, 15 years old, boy and a girl. And if you are a parent of a teenager or were a parent of a teenager, you and I probably can share some thoughts about this age group. You can find me on social media under MATARA Life Coaching, which I share on a daily basis, a confidence motivation tip. Check it out if this is something you want to learn more about. I'm also a podcast creator, and you can find it in the platforms under the name of The Growing Pair. So 18 months ago, I've decided to make a big shift in my career to become a confidence coach for women in business. But I'm also coaching men. And I want to share with you my life coaching statement. I help women and men break through barriers, build real confidence, and achieve their goals, becoming the most successful version of themselves. So as I said in the beginning of this presentation, that all those stories I shared with you are related to confidence. And there are different stories. So I have a reflection question to you here, that if you don't mind, pop in the chat and write down what confidence means to you. When you think about the word confidence, what do you get? Whatever words come to your mind, just put it in the chat. And I know my time is limited and we will come back to it, but please put it in the chat because I want to share with you what confidence means to me. Confidence is the belief in oneself and one's abilities. So think about yourself as a car and you want to get from point A to point B. So I say in my motivation workshop, when your car needs petrol, diesel, electricity, depends what your car is, that's what motivation is. But when it comes to confidence, the way I see it, confidence is the car ignition system. It's the moment you go into the car, put the key in the switch or press the start button, that's the moment where your car starts moving. And that's what confidence is to me. Could be there are other issues with the car that will prevent you to get to point B, yeah? That's other areas. But confidence is that car ignition system. So confidence impacts our decisions, our relationships, and overall success. And why does it matter? Why confidence matters? It's increasing resilience. Think about anything you've done that was outside of your comfort zone, how much you increased your resilience. And also, confidence is a lot about communication, how you speak, how you deliver your message, how you are managing a difficult conversation. So it's enhancing your communication. And every step on the way, you are growing as a person. So confidence empowers you to take action to overcome challenges and fully embrace opportunities that lead to growth and success. Now, I love quotes. So I'm going to share with you one quote here. And this quote goes like that. To succeed in life, you need two things, ignorance and confidence. And the reason why I love this quote so much is because it's emphasizing the fact that we don't know everything, but we should have the confidence to acknowledge that. And that was said by Mark Twain. And Mark Twain was an American author and writer that wrote famous books, but I guess the most famous one is Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. So let's go back to our woman. So remember Sarah. Sarah felt she had to be liked to be successful. Her self-worth was tied to her client's immediate happiness. She didn't value herself. She didn't value her time. She had to be available to her clients for 24/7. That's what she felt. So what we did together is we moved Sarah from being a people-pleasing to authority. We removed that limiting belief she had and focused on her values in her expertise. She believed she doesn't have any value, but we shifted that. She started to see her value in her expertise. We moved her from being a reactive servant, waiting for the clients to contact her and answer and respond, to a proactive commander. She's the one that got in touch with the clients. She's the one that put the line there and said, okay, this is my working hours. This is where I will be available to you. And that allowed her to stop asking for permission to have a personal life. So let's see what we've done with Elena. So remember Elena felt like failing is not an option. She believed she has to be perfect in order to be respected. So what we've done with Elena is we moved from how do they see me to how do I see myself? And we moved from I have to be perfect to look at it as I'm making progress. And what was the best thing we've done with Elena is Elena had a great intuition and she never trusted it. So that made her to over-prepare everything all the time. So now we moved her to trust her intuition much more. And Maya, our fashion brand founder, it was an interesting one with Maya because her being in previous career where she felt like she needs to do everything and now she's a business owner, it's a total different game. So you can't be in a control anymore all the time. You have to start trusting. So we shifted the mindset from control to trust. And one of the things we've done as well is we learned the art of letting go. What is it within your control and what is it not within your control? Let go. And change her mindset from feeling like she needs to be supporting everyone else to actually allow yourself to be supported. So I want to share with you here what a life coach and how as a life coach can help you. If you found yourself familiar with any of those stories, that's exactly what I'm doing with my clients. We're identifying what holds you back, what we call limiting belief. We are setting achievable goals. We are strengthening your self-awareness. We are building resilience. And we are offering accountability and support. So just before I finish this, I want to invite you to check your confidence level. It's a very short quiz. Scan the QR code if you can, or just go directly to confidence.mataralifecoaching.com. I can leave the link in the chat. And just a quick quiz to test where you are with your confidence levels. By the end of it, you will get some tools, of course, a personalized report, but also tools. And that's where you start if you want to improve your confidence. And if you have any questions, you can get in touch with me here in this QR code. It will take you to a page. You can contact me via WhatsApp, email, LinkedIn, and I will leave all the details. And just before we finish, I saw some messages in the chat. So let's see quickly. Lisa, you're saying for me, it's self-belief that I can do anything I put in my mind. Zoe, you're saying courage to do something well. Michelle, you're saying to courage to try. Love it. Rachel say, I would appreciate if you can guide me on record keeping. Oh, that was something else, I think. And Gary, confidence, self-belief, and motivation. Rosalini says confidence in self-belief and willingness to act. And the thing is, and I'm finished with that, confidence means different to different people. So whatever confidence means to you, just walk with it. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for having me here.
Isaac, thank you so much. That Mark Twain quote really stopped me a little bit, because it was like the ignorance and the confidence are like two polar opposites. And it actually, yeah, I suppose that they're both true at the same time, aren't they? That was a good one. Thank you. I love a good quote too. Yeah, so much to take away from that. If anybody's got any questions, please do get them in the chat now, and let's sort through them. I see that Rachel's still here. There is a question about record keeping, so I don't know if anybody in the room can help with that. Gary, is that something that CNT can help with, or is it a Sybil question? Rachel, maybe you could unmute and just let us know. And in the meantime, any questions for anybody else, please, as I say, get those in the chat. We will have Rachel's email address, won't we? So we can maybe send her a separate message to find out exactly what it is that she needs. Okay.
Yes, or if Rachel wants to email us, we can channel it to the appropriate person.
Okay. Yeah. Any thoughts that anybody would like to share with us on what they've heard today? Any takeaways? I'd love to see your takeaways.
Can I ask Isaac a question? Isaac, it was a very interesting presentation. Thanks for that. If there's one takeaway from today, from what you've said, and the very brief feedback you've had from people, what would that be?
Well, first of all, understanding that confidence means different to different people. So whatever confidence means to you, not necessarily whatever confidence means to me. So appreciate yourself in that. And that's where the self-value starts. Understanding, for me, confidence is a completely different thing. Okay. And the second thing is, depends which story resonates with you more. We dealt with it differently, if you can see. So if the one of those women you're like, oh, I'm Sarah, or I'm Maya, or I'm, see how we dealt with it, but also do the confidence quiz, because the confidence quiz is a very simple one and great tool to start to identify what areas you would like to work on yourself. Does it make sense, Gary? Sorry.
Yes, very much so. I was just thinking there's a lot of like Michelle said, there's a lot of food for thought there. So
I left the link to the quiz. I hope I managed to do it correctly. Yeah, I left the link
I
to
can
the
see
quiz
it. Yeah.
in the chat, and yeah, it's a really short one. It won't take you more than 3 minutes to promise.
I've got a question for Lisa as well, Michelle, if that's okay. Lisa, obviously you talked about the new Employment Act. I guess I've got two questions. One is quite easy. When is that going to be law, and where can you get more information about this?
So some of it is already law and came in at the end of October last year, or the beginning of October. Some of it will be coming in April, but there is lots of it that is still, they're calling it ping-ponging. So it goes back from the House of Lords back to the government, and so some of it may not come into effect until 2027 or even later. So I think that's why it's really important not to panic about all of it. Just be clear on what has come in, and you can get information on HR websites, the government websites. I have roadmaps that I can share with people that kind of says, this is what's changed, this is what it means for your business, this is what you need to do. But also the really interesting thing is that they are inviting consultation. So if anybody sees anything that thinks that will really negatively affect my small business, the consultations are still open. And I've been emailing MPs, my name's been on the end of white papers. If you are passionate about something and thinks it will really negatively affect your small business, there is still time to talk about it. So if anybody wants to talk to me about this, just a quick chat over a virtual coffee, then I'm really happy to help and point people in the right direction.
Sybil, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, sorry, this is on a different topic. So going back a bit, I'm seeing this sort of recurring theme within most of our presentations today, talking about feeling calmness, and especially what Isaac talked about. There was one part which resonated with me, and that was about letting go. And I think this is easier said than done, but I think one of the keys is to recognize what we can control and what we can't control. And I think what we tend to do is focus on a lot of things that we can't control, and that's the thing that causes stress. There's so many things so many external factors, we just can't do anything about them. There's so much negative stuff happening in the world, like negative news, for example. And the more negativity we consume, the more it impacts ourselves, our bodies and our minds. And we just need to find that balance, to recognize there is nothing we can do about certain external factors. And then going back to that quote again, ignorance, we have to learn to ignore certain things. And that's where we start to feel calmer. If we can recognize what we can't control, let go of those things, then more time and energy we can focus on ourselves. So focus on our own self-development, our own businesses, and just becoming the best version we can of ourselves. And that way we feel much calmer and much less stress.
I think they're very wise words, very, very true. Yeah, absolutely. We can lose so much energy and focus if we consume all of the things that stop us from doing what we need to do. So thank you for that, Sybil. Yeah. Okay, well, we're 2 minutes to 12. I don't know, any last questions before the clock takes us to midday?
If I may say, just Sybil, I picked up something on your presentation. So first of all, well done on the presentation. The second thing is you personally, I can share, if I can share, I am limiting the time I'm allowing myself to use on Facebook. So I'm limiting it to, I don't know, 40 minutes, 45 minutes a day. And it's a bless. It's really a bless because Facebook and Instagram and any other social is one of those things when it sucks you down to that rabbit hole and you're stuck there. You're just stuck there. And that reminder that's it. It's like, whoa, okay, I need to stop now. By all means, try it out if you don't have an app limit and you feel like you're stuck in an app. Try this limitation and see how it makes you feel.
More wise words. Thank you, Isaac. That is so true. I think anybody who puts themselves on a social media diet, as I might describe it, will soon see the positive impacts of doing that. Thank you.
Can I just say one last thing, Michelle?
Of course.
I just like, on behalf of C&T Associates, who, for those of you who came in late, are supporting this presentation, which is part of the Royal Borough of Greenwich's Generative Business Support Programme. I'd like to thank all the speakers from today. I've learned quite a lot from all the diverse presentations. So it was an action-packed hour. I'd also like to put in a plug for the last presentation. These are free presentations supported by the Royal Borough and a government program called the Shared Prosperity Fund, which is AI for beginners. Which is on Thursday, February the 12th. The details are on our website, and if you're on our mailing list, then you will get a reminder about that and the link to book it through Eventbrite. And of course, that presentation, like this presentation, will be on the CNT YouTube channel. The details of that are in the chat now, or you can get further information via our website cntassociates.com, or you can email or call us. I've also put my LinkedIn link on there if anybody wants to link in with me, and I'll be linking in with a few people from today as well. So thank you all very much, and thank you all for attending.
And thank you for putting the event on, Gary. I think we all appreciate it, so thanks.
Can I ask one question?
Of course, Michelle, please do.
Yes. Like, if we start a business, like for a woman, what motivate you to start a business like for women? What are the most important skill to start a business for women? Like led women.
Okay, wow, there are plenty of women in this room who will probably be able to give you some thoughts on that. Would anybody like to jump in, or?
Yeah, I'll go. So when I first started my business, my main motivator was kind of work-life balance. I had a young child, and I'd taken voluntary redundancy and was thinking about what next. And I thought, well, I've got, nearly 20 years of skills. I'm going to use it to create a business that works around me. In terms of what the skill is I think I kind of alluded to this when I did my presentation, is you go into a business because you want to do what you're passionate about and what you're good at. But all of a sudden, you've got to be finance, admin, you've got to organization, you've got to market yourself, you've got to sales, you've got to go to networking. So I think this comes back to what Isaac has been saying and what Sybil has been saying. You need to get organized, and you also need to build up your confidence to say, I can do this. I can put myself out there. I can try. I can try, I can fail, I can learn, I can move on. And it's, that the first few months or even the year is an absolute roller coaster, but you've got to hang on in there. And you'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay, I got. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Lisa, and thanks for your question, Michelle.
Your player.
Okay, right. Wow, we're at 3 minutes past 12, I think. Oh, Rachel's asking, I'm into a cleaning business and I'm struggling to get contracts for the business. Do you have any advice? Okay, Rachel, Lisa suggested that you email her, as she might be able to help you.
Can I ask a question? Where is your business based, Rachel? Which borough are you in?
Greenwich.
Okay, because that depends what kind of support is around Greenwich, North London. Because if it had been in Bexley, we might have been able to give you some free business support. We are running a program in Greenwich as well, but that's full now, unfortunately. So we can't help there. But if you want to contact us, that's fine.
Lisa has indicated that she needs to go. Thank you so much for your input, Lisa, but she is saying that if she can help and follow up afterwards, then she will do. So please do make sure that you connect with everybody that shared their details in the chat, and then you can have ongoing conversations with them afterwards, and be sure to be signed up for the CNT Associates email as well, Gary, because you regularly send out details, don't you?
Yes, yeah. If you've registered with us, you'll automatically get our updates via MailChimp.
Okay. Right. Well, it looks like people are having to head off. Shall we finish up, and until next time?
Yeah.
Yes.
As I say,
To see you all.
the AI presentation is on the 12th of February. So a free presentation again, and you'll get to hear from Sybil about this amongst other speakers. And I'm sure you'll all find that interesting.